second quarter. Again, Northwestern, they're in the Big Ten championship game. They get to play today.
Yeah, and it's going to be the key is how Ramsey plays. That's a nice play call right there and a nice, easy touchdown. But the way he's played the last couple of weeks, he has to get better to beat Ohio State.
And then Cam Porter starting to run it for Northwestern.
And interesting, Isaiah Bowser and Drake Anderson, the normal two big running backs for Northwestern, they haven't been very active in this game. It's been freshmen, Cam Porter, Evan Hall getting the most of the work, and these guys have both run for over 100 yards.
Yeah, and you mentioned Hull here. He is 32-yarder. Again, Ohio State not playing today because of Michigan. Northwestern, they get a football tune-up. They win 28-10. Up next, that Big Ten championship. Now, there was talk in the Pac-12 if Colorado were to stay unbeaten and USC were to stay unbeaten, maybe two teams from the South would play for the championship here. Brendan Rice, Jerry's son, 61-yard TD.
And you can see the weather. So special teams play is going to be big in this game. A punt returner loves to see this kind of weather. Make a couple guys miss, go to the house.
Utah has been up and down all year, but here, Ty Jordan, 18-yard score.
Well, they were down when they started 0-2 because they couldn't handle the football. Too many turnovers, but they're +2 in TO margin in this one.
And then Bentley and the Utes come back. Britton Covey, good strike, 20-yard TD. Utah takes the lead 24-21. And then it's Ty Jordan again, this one 66 yards.
Yeah, and it's been the big plays, the chunk plays, the bigger, longer runs, passes. That's how Utah's put points on the board.
And it looks as if Utah is going to hand the Buffs their first loss, that one in the fourth quarter. So that makes USC's game tonight against UCLA on ABC big because the Trojans looking to stay unbeaten. They're the favorite against Chip Kelly and the Bruins, 7:30 Eastern ABC and the ESPN app. More Big Ten football. Penn State, Michigan State. Peyton Thorne getting the start, finds Trevon Morgan.
Remember, he started 11 for 11 last week the last game against Ohio State. He started 11 for 13 in this one with 3 TD passes.
Sean Clifford got the start for the Nittany Lions. Parker Washington, they're up 21-18.
You mentioned got the start. Sean Clifford had turnover issues early in the season, playing much better the last couple weeks.
Hanging on to a 1-point lead here. Wide open player, Washington again.
The freshman Parker Washington has really come on now these last couple of games. You pair him with Jahan Dotson on the outside. That's a really good 1-2 punch at receiver.
Yeah, and at this point, Penn State trying to figure out who they have for the future. We know who they have in the present. You just mentioned Dotson. Here, 81-yard punt return for 6.
And Dotson also has 100 yards receiving. You put these playmakers out in space, make a couple guys miss. The punt returner has to make at least 2 guys miss. Let the blockers take care of the rest.
Makes you wonder where some of this explosiveness has been for Penn State all year. They are all over Michigan State 39-24. What about Minnesota and Nebraska? Minnesota without 33 players due to COVID-19. Muhammad Ibrahim takes it in, 27 yards.
There's a lot more on his shoulders in this offense now that Rashad Bateman at receiver has opted out for the rest of the season.
So early second quarter, Nebraska down 10. Adrian Martinez to Austin Allen.
Nebraska, another team that has had rotating quarterbacks, but Martinez started this game 13 of 16.
And here he is running the ball as well. He can do this.
Yeah, he's been on fire the last 3 games throwing it, but also leads his team rushing in this one with 86 yards.
So Minnesota would answer before the half. Morgan to Brevin Spann-Ford.
And this was the Minnesota offense we saw last season when they were rowing the boat, the play-action passes, the touchdown passes behind the linebackers.
Ibrahim right up the gut. Right now, Minnesota up 24-17. That one late in the fourth quarter. Rutgers in Maryland, because we're doing a Big Ten rip. 3-0. Bo Melton end around 44-yard TD.
Well, it's a Greg Schiano team. You know they want to be physical and run the football, but you also have to be creative and find different ways to do it. Nice job on the reverse.
Then Jake Funk, he takes it right up the gut. You said what about Jake Funk?
Jake Funk, over 180 yards rushing in this game.
Guy looks like a Big Ten running back. And then Rutgers still trailing 10-7. Arthur Sitkowski to Isaiah Pacheco.
It's been good and bad for Sitkowski. Nice job here buying time and finding his guy in the wheel route, but he's also thrown 2 picks, and that's been costly.
And now Maryland trailing 14-10. Eric Nigerian's pass to Dante Amos Jr. for the 23-yard score. Maryland up 17-14 at that point, up 24-21 in the fourth quarter. So here we have Big Ten championship game is set. Ohio State and Northwestern. They met in the 2018 Big Ten championship. You saw that worked out 45-24 to the Buckeyes. They'll come in rested. Northwestern got the game today against Illinois. Joe, I'll start with you in this one. What does Northwestern have to be able to do to just stay in this game?
I think it starts with taking care of the football. Their one loss to Michigan State, they had the 4 turnovers. They started this game off against Illinois with an early turnover. They got lucky. Illinois misses a field goal. You can't count on Ohio State to do that same thing. If they get turnovers, they will score points. Peyton Ramsey, last couple games, not great throwing the ball. He's going to have to complete the play action passes are going to be key. They have to complete the ball, and then key, they got to run it like they did.
Yeah, I think Northwestern has to run the football, plain and simple. And I don't think they can go into this game against Ohio State and Justin Fields thinking we're going to win this shootout. Northwestern's averaging only 24 points a game right now. That's worst of any team ranked in the top 25 in the college football playoff rankings. So you're right. They have been inconsistent running the ball all year, and we know they've got guys in Bowser and Anderson. Peyton Ramsey gets involved. McGowan at receiver. They can find ways, but it's going to be a big challenge against that physical D-line from Ohio State. Good news for them at least. Running for over 400 yards against Illinois gives them some confidence, but maintain possession of the football. Keep Justin Fields and company on the sideline.
I just find it a collision of styles. You've got Ohio State, big play offense, can score quickly. Northwestern's one of those tick, tick, tick teams that's going to do it running the ball. We'll see which collision of these style pans out next week. Buckeyes expected to be a huge favorite. Spencer Sanders will be without Chuba Hubbard, who he's been without for the last month. His running back opting out. Oklahoma State, Baylor coming up.
The super big 85-inch Samsung QLED TV brings the game home. Sure, a TV this big makes Kid Series look ginormous.
QLED TV!
Game shows look like an even bigger deal. And medical dramas look larger than life. But the super big Samsung QLED TV is made for football. It's not too late to save on Samsung QLED.
This year, the holidays mean even more. And the Home Depot is here to help you find what you need to share your holiday cheer. Big things, small things, special things. Everything that helps you make the spirits all around you merry and bright. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Let me know if you ready to get. Lace up your boots cause the race is on. Ain't no one taking me out my zone. Wanna stand up if you getting down. Put up your fist if you with it now. We them big hitters, so brace yourself. Just another notch up on the belt. Born for greatness, man.
Guys, scary story this afternoon in college basketball. Looking forward to the fight tonight. But this afternoon, Florida star basketball player Keontae Johnson collapsed early in the game against Florida State. And Gators were coming out of a timeout when the cameras cut away from the court. And broadcasters on the ESPNU game said that Johnson had collapsed and he was taken to the locker room. The latest reports have Johnson in critical but stable condition at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital. And his coach, Mike White, on Twitter said, "Keep playing for Keontae and his family. We all love him." All right, so we are going to take a live look in now on Western Michigan and Ball State. First place in the MAC West on the line. Tied at 27, 4th and goal, 32 seconds left in this game.
Tim Lester.
Is it?
I think so, because you want to stop the clock. If he doesn't call timeout.
But he only leaves himself one timeout to work with.
That doesn't matter because it's 4th down. So if you don't call a timeout, then you know that Ball State's going to run the clock down to 4 or 5 seconds. And they're either going to kick it to win it or go in overtime.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So in this case, Lester, I like what Lester's doing. Like, hey, even if he makes it, then they're going to kick the ball back to us. And we'd rather control the clock than having to kick the ball off to Dwayne Eskridge.